Well, it's a new year and still the Gerson Therapy continues to be an engaging and a highly source of fun amusement for me. Someone only today basically said, oh, what about all the evidence? So I was like, okay, what evidence? And I said, oh, well, what about this report done by the National Institute of Health, I think it is, or NICE, or something like that. So I went, it says couldn't provide a link, so I went and looked on their website and I put in the Gerson Therapy, and it basically says, we've never done any scientific or lab tests on the Gerson Therapy. And I'm just like, well, so I said, couldn't find it. Anyway, she's come back today and said, well, what about all these testimonials from former patients? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I know what you are giving me, and this is to anyone else out there who just doesn't understand this concept. That's what we call anecdotal evidence. It means jack squat in terms of science. It is literally a case of just going, so what? We do not know what was going on in these people's bodies. And here's the fun part. When I'm looking through some of these testimonials, is a lot of them said, oh, I was diagnosed with cancer, I was diagnosed with cancer. Now some, she posted a couple by the Gerson Therapy, and you can tell, and I'm an editor, so I know when things have been cut, and they don't mention anything about conventional treatment, so like surgery, chemotherapy. But there are some times where they say things like, oh, when I was in hospital I was doing it. I'm just like, hang on, you were in hospital, so that means you had surgery of some sort. So how do we know then that it was not the surgery that, you know, saved you? You know, there was one she sent me of a woman who had bowel cancer. She had surgery. I said, oh, I was on the Gerson Therapy, I refused chemotherapy. So how do we know it's not the surgery was what helped you and saved you and cured you? Again, there's a lot of, oh, they were on the Gerson Therapy, so it must be the Gerson Therapy. No, that means nothing. It is just as legitimate for me to say it was the cancer fairy that, you know, came down and waved the magic wand, because that is the type of evidence you are essentially providing. It is absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, and I hope that, you know, makes people see why. But you know, there's one, and it just makes me absolutely despair, because it's the same woman, and she goes, oh, my brother died of chemotherapy. He had leukemia, but I insist it was the chemotherapy. No, it was the leukemia that killed him, not chemotherapy. Chemotherapy does not kill, full stop. It is the cancer that kills. And I am sorry that it's so hard for people to get around this. Yes, chemotherapy has a lot of really bad side effects, and, you know, it looks, you know, terrible when you see people, you know, going through it. But guess what? Chemotherapy is one of the only things we actually have that can actually effectively cure cancer. And again, I'd like to remind you of this. Current cancer success rates, in fact the death rates for cancer, are falling and are going down year on year because of medical science and advances in being able to detect it, can catch it earlier. This is what is causing these rates to go down. Now, the survival rate for cancer is between 60 and 75%, depending on the type of cancer. That's quite good. And again, those rates are going up as well. Will these people in the alternative therapy admit this or even acknowledge these facts? No, because they don't want to. Now, the Gerson Therapy claims they have between a 90 and 100% cure rate. It should be incredibly easy for them to show that their therapy works. Have they ever done any scientific tests? Have they ever commissioned any studies? No. These people, as I was said, are absolute charlatans, and the people that go around, you know, promoting this or, you know, spouting their mouths off on oh, you should do the Gerson therapy. No, you know nothing about cancer. You know nothing about what it does, what's going on in the human body. And the Gerson therapy doesn't work. It has no scientific evidence to back it up at all. And until you can at least come to terms with that, you've got to come to terms with you are being conned, absolutely. And this is still the best thing, is I've brought up a couple of cases to people in the past of people who were on the Gerson therapy, and their excuse was, oh, they weren't doing it properly. Oh, they mustn't have been doing it properly. I'm sorry, that doesn't fly. Because when you read, and again, when you read some of these people that were actually doing the Gerson therapy, they were doing it full and proper as they've been told. Heck, there was a woman at the Gerson clinic. At the Gerson clinic. So what does that say then about the Gerson clinic when you're saying that, oh, she must have been doing it properly, when she was actually at the Gerson clinic? I'm sorry, but until people can, you know, people have got to realise these people are nothing but charlatans. Their therapy doesn't work, has never worked, and hasn't cured a single case of cancer because they cannot prove it. I'm sorry, you're being duped beyond reasonable doubt. And I know I'm going to get, as usual, a lot of hate for this by people who support it, but I'm sorry, I'm telling you the truth, and they're lying to you. And unfortunately the truth hurts, and you've got to come to realise that is the case.